Hello everyone and welcome. It's Shanna. I'm so glad you're here today. Now in today's video I shopped my stash and I'm using some older product. I've got Pinkfresh Studios Cozy Blooms. I have got the large stamp set and you can get all of these different blooms out of here. You can get multiple cards out of this. I've got the coordinating dies and they die cut out in big pieces, and then you've got the sentiments and then the coordinating stencil. And this is what we're going to be working with today. I'm trying to create a couple of more Mother's Day cards for my daughter's event that she's having. And so I just thought this would be a way to kind of crank out a couple of them really quickly with these really large stamp and die sets. And you've got the coordinating stencil that makes it super simple. And so we're just going to get these big stamps laid down here on my Misty. And I've got my larger Misty. And I'll kind of twist and turn these until I get them to where they can fit on there. And I'm sure I can get my dies around them. And you can see I have used these. They're well loved. In fact, they've got some ink on them, and I will spend some time cleaning that off. But we'll still get some of that residual ink on there, but it won't matter. We're going to heat emboss them with some gold embossing powder before we stencil them, and I think it'll just help it to shine. So I'm noticing I've got that ink, and I'm going to grab a baby wipe and just try and get those cleaned up, and then we'll get them stamped up. Okay, I think I've gotten a lot of it off of there, and I'm just going to bring in a paper towel and just kind of blot them and see if I can't pick up any ink. I'm not seeing a lot of ink on there, but when I add the watermark ink to it, I think it kind of it kind of activates the ink that's on there, and so we will see it, but it won't matter because we're going to pour some golden crown embossing powder on there, and we're just going to have a beautifully gold embossed panel. So I'm taking my anti-static powder bag and running it across my hammer mill cardstock paper so that we can kind of keep the stray powder off of the sheet. And I've got my press tool and I'm just giving it a good press. We're going to ink it up a couple times. You can kind of see a little bit of the black on there. I'm kind of pointing that out. But it will not matter because we're going to cover it up. We'll just get this inked up again, and then we'll give it another press, and then we're going to bring the heat tool in, and we're going to get this heated up, and you'll just see the gold come to life on there. So I've got a piece of purple copy paper, and I'm going to just pull my stamped cardstock off of there, and we'll grab our gold crown embossing powder, and this is Love from Lizzie embossing powder. I like it real well. And it looks really dark, but it actually brightens up when you add the heat to it and just is a real pretty gold. Very nice. So I'm going to make sure I get enough powder to cover everything up. I like to go over it a couple times, and then we'll get it inked up. So this video, I'm actually making it kind of late in the evening. We had a little pizza party and games with my dad tonight and enjoyed that. And so I'm just at the last hour putting together some content, and I'm going to get a couple of Mother's Day cards that I can take to that event. So I'm looking forward to that. And so we're just going to get this inked up. So I have really had a very challenging day today, and I'm glad that it is over and I am home. I don't know if you guys ever have days like that, but some days are better than others. Anyway, so I'm going to just show partially this. We've got both sets of stamps that I'm going to ink up, and I'll just go off camera and then I'll bring them back in, and you can see I've got all that shine to it. So we did have a nice time. We had ordered pizza and we played some aggravation. I know I've talked with you guys. We play a lot of games around here, and so that was nice getting to spend time with my dad and my family. My sister was there, and she had her youngest granddaughter, and of course my husband and my mom was there. Anyway, so we had fun. The girls did win this time. I think the last time I talked about it on my video, the boys had beat us pretty badly, but tonight the girls were successful and we won, and I don't think the guys were extremely happy about it, but that's okay. And basically my sister and I played against my husband and my dad, as our mom was playing with Lila. She had her baby dolls out and they were playing together. And so that's what we did. But it was nice to get together. It was kind of rainy and stormy and everything. So it was a nice day to be inside and kind of playing some games. So anyway, I'm using Kitsch Flamingo, spun sugar, and mustard seed, and I've got mowed lawn and pine needles, and those are the distressed oxide inks that I'm using on this, and I have sped it up considerably. This stencil set has the top part does one side and the bottom part does the other, and you kind of have to line it up on an angle, and there is a kind of a separator line on the stencil that shows you, which is half, which goes on one half and which goes on the other. And I kind of tried to show it there a bit. This is really a quick, obviously it's sped up, but it did come together pretty quickly because I just kept using the same colors and just laying them down. And I didn't even bother masking, the cardstock off because I knew I was going to die cut around all of these anyway. So I didn't really waste any time doing that. I just made sure I got the ink down on the floral images and got it covered. And then we'll just die cut away any stray ink that's on that piece of cardstock. So I guess this was just some lazy crafting. I just dug into my stash and found something pretty that I hadn't worked with in a while. It is still available, so I will link the materials in the description box below so you can check it out. It is a beautiful set. It's a big set, and it's got the coordinating, you can get the coordinating die in the stencil, which makes it super easy. And one thing about Pinkfresh packaging is their dies, the way they're packaged and sent to you, they've got a magnetic sheet in there. So that is really nice. It's between the cardboard, and so you can just leave your dies on that pink cardboard and they'll stick to it because they've got a piece of magnetic sheet behind there. And I love that feature of Pinkfresh Studio. Okay, so we got all those die cut pieces. I went off camera. I took a Spellbinders Perfect Touch Arch die and created some almost like a window type scene for both of my cards. We've got 2 pieces of vellum. We've got a frame of the window, and then we've got the window. I've got 2 different colors of pink cardstock from Spellbinders that I'm going to use to create my card bases. And at the last minute, I decided to get my polka dot and posy duo 3D embossing folder and just emboss both of these panels. I grabbed that one because I could have 2 different embossed panels and just one pass. And so that's why I chose that one. I thought it'd give me 2 different looks and I'd only have to run it through my die cutting machine one time. And I did use the 3D folder sandwich because this is a 3D embossed panel. And we've got our polka dots, and then we're going to use our larger vellum frame, arch frame here, and I just put some tape runner on there just to get some quick hold, and then added some glue. And then we'll use our frame and our floral elements to cover that up. You won't see that messy glue and tape area because we've got this big, beautiful floral element that we can kind of lay across here. And I'm just going to figure out how I want it on there. We're going to glue this frame down, and then we'll just figure out where we're going to put our floral images. Now you can see off to the left there, I've got my sentiments, and those are already stamped and heat embossed. I'm using these Hero Arts Wholehearted Sentiments Mother's Day edition. Oh, no, those are all to new. Pardon me. They are all to new Wholehearted Sentiments Mother's Day edition. And there's a huge amount of Mother's Day sentiments on there. And I stamped several of them, and we're going to use them on our cards. And then I've also got 2 gold bows there that I have just wrapped around my fingers several times, created a knot, and just created a multi-layer bow that we're going to add on these frames as well, just to add some more gold sparkle to it. And so I'm just getting my sentiments, and I'm going to get them laid down on there. And I'm trying to remember what I used. Best Mom in the World is what I put on one, and then I put Happy Mother's Day on the other. I also used the Love You sentiment and another one, which I can't think of at the moment. You're the Best, I think, is what I used. And so I'm just going to get these assembled. I'm laying my gold bow on the top of this, and we've got our arch with our flower with our sentiment in the middle, and then I've got this darker pink that I'm going to use, and I actually like it better. I think the darker pink popped more. And so I'm just going to get it laid down. And these are top folding card bases, tent style, so you can, stand them up, opened. And on this one, I think I had to trim a little bit off the bottom. The card base was showing, so I went off camera and just trimmed that off real quick, came back in. We're going to lay this perfect touch die cut piece down here on the other one, and I'm trying to get it lined up. It adhered pretty quickly, which was nice, but I needed to move it. And then we're just going to get it down on the center of this card. And then we'll bring in some of those floral bits to kind of swag this arch. And I am going to choose to pop it up. I thought it would just add a little bit of extra dimension. The other one's kind of flat, and so I thought it'd be fun to just pop this up and add some dimension to it. And I'm going to get it laid down on there. And if you would, take a minute and hit that like button. I'm trying to remember to ask for the like. I am trying to grow my channel, and the likes tells YouTube that people are enjoying the content and helps them to push it out to others. And if you haven't subscribed, I'd love to have you subscribe. I always set these small little goals for my channel, and just reached a new milestone, and we're pressing on to the next one. So here's my bow, and I'm trying to audition where I want to put it at. I'm going to trim the little strings off so that they're not quite so large, and we're just going to put a little dab of glue and get them pressed down on there. And so I'm using my tape runner to kind of tuck that vellum down in a few spots so that it doesn't curl up. And we've got our 2 cards. Now I have been trying to finish off the inside, so this is where I'm going to bring in You're the Best sentiment and lay it on the inside of this card. And it's just got the gold embossing in there. And then I'll grab one of the floral elements and stick it on the inside. I'm going to have a few more pieces left over of this stenciled embossed florals. And I might be able to put together another card, but I'm just going to lay a group of flowering on the inside of each of them, just so there'll be some interest on the inside of the card. And I tried to choose florals that kind of match the front that I put on the inside. And then on this one, I'm going to use the Love You sentiment and get it laid down on there. And then this will finish off our 2 cards, and I think they turned out really pretty. So I've got some pictures here that you can look at, and if you like, please hit that like button. And don't forget to subscribe. Thanks for watching. Bye-bye.